did you have a situation that you're now free from?
Well, I got married when I was 22, and I got divorced when I was 25, and I didn't think I'd live to be 25. When we first moved to Cincinnati, after we'd been married and lived a couple places, we moved to Cincinnati and moved in with his parents. And let me say now that all of this is long in the past, and he has learned many lessons along the way, and he's a responsible person. But at the time, he was doing drugs and alcohol, and I had no concept of drugs or alcohol because it was that long ago. And when he beat me really badly, my mother-in-law, with whom we lived, said, if you complain, we'll have you committed to a mental hospital. So that's long enough ago that you know when mental hospitals...
What?
Yes, you could do that then. You could have your family... You could have your family could put you in a mental hospital and you had no hope.
Because you complained that you were being abused.
Right. And if I attempted to expose that in any way, that would be the end of me as far as she was concerned. So I was afraid to do anything. My own mother believed that anybody who was beaten deserved it. And said so to me, so I know I could get no help from her.
There was no place for you to get help. I mean, was it...
Not yet. Not yet. It was very early in the 70s, and if there was a women helping women, I don't think it existed yet. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it didn't exist yet, but it did soon after that.
Then, back in the 70s, how did you deal with that? Did you just internalize it and just keep going? I mean, how do you think it affected you?
Well, I can tell you, I went to work. I didn't talk much to people because I was such a nervous wreck. I went down to 90 pounds. Right now, I weigh 153 pounds. So you can imagine what 90 pounds looked on me. I looked like an Auschwitz victim. I mean, when you see pictures of them, every bone stuck out. I was such a nervous wreck. I couldn't, when my husband allowed me to eat because he controlled the money or gave me money to eat, then I get to eat. So I never had more than a meal a day, and sometimes I didn't even have that.
So it wasn't just physical, abuse. It was mental and emotional as well.
And I was always afraid of what would happen next because with the drugs and alcohol, he didn't remember what he was doing. He was blacking out. So he would do things and not realize. And I was afraid he was going to kill me. He also was a hunter, so he had lots and lots of guns. So fortunately, I grew up in a more rural kind of world. And so I knew to take the firing pins out of his guns. And that was good because one night I woke up in the middle of the night and a shotgun was pointed against my temple, and he pulled the trigger. And I was sure, that split second I said, I'm dead. But, when you wake up, you're not going to think firing pins aren't in there. All I could think was he realized that, put the firing pin in, and decided to shoot me. But he didn't because he had just gone and loaded a shotgun. And he went down to get another gun because that one didn't fire, and he tripped down the steps and went through a glass door. Oh. So he got cut badly enough that we'd call the ambulance, and he had to go to the hospital. And I got his parents to go with him, saying he was too upset for me, and went to my next door neighbor, dragged a little suitcase over in my sewing machine, and packed her car. And the next morning when I went to work as usual, when he got home, he didn't remember what happened. He had no remembrance at all of any of that, and was quite astonished when I left him. I figured he was too dangerous to me. I would be dead. I assumed I'd be dead. So, but here's the part that got me. When I went to court, the lawyer said, well, you're not going to get anywhere with him beating you or trying to kill you. The only way you're going to be able to get a divorce is that he doesn't have a job right now, and so he's not supporting you. I assumed he'd just have to go to jail, but they didn't care about that. What they cared about is whether or not he had a job.
It isn't worth it to say love doesn't treat me that way. It's gotta be better than this. Gotta be better than this. Be kind.